What is up, guys? Chris here, the Unprofessional Dad, and I'm back with a new and unusual type of knife video. This is something I've not done before. I've been wanting to, and I'm going to try something out. Now, this might be a huge flop, and nobody might like this, but it also might be something that you guys really enjoy. So please, I usually don't ask for specific comments, but please, in the comment section below, let me know what you think about this that I'm about to show you and what we're about to do. And let me know if you like it, don't like it, what you think of the concept. But also if you have any suggestions. And suggestions, you'll understand what I mean by that here in just a second. Like what knives you would suggest. All right, so for a while, I've been trying to think of some type of a competition that I could have. You know, everybody wants to know what knife is better than this or that or whatever. What blade steel is the best. Back during March Madness, I was wanting to do a competition. I got all kinds of stuff to do, cutting tests and different things like that. For different reasons, that wasn't able to work out. But I've come up with a tournament type of situation to where I'm going to compare some different knives against each other. Each video will have several knives. And I'm going to show you how we're going to score these and grade these. At the very end, we're going to take a tally of their points. Whatever knife wins the video will move on. And then every video will be different knives. We'll do the same thing again and again and again until all the knives that I have been gone through. All of these knives are $100 and below. We're not doing these with premium. We'll do a separate one. If everybody likes this, we'll do a separate video set with premiums. Maybe we'll do a separate one with fixed blades. Again, I'm going to show you in just a second how we're going to score these, what the categories are, but we're going to compare 5 knives per video. One knife goes on. Once all the videos are done and all of these knives, and there's a lot of them, have been went through, and we have picked a winner out of each video, then all of the winners will start again with the winners comparing against each other. Okay, so I built a board. I have to do another one. This didn't turn out the way that I wanted to. There's not enough room. I need a bigger whiteboard. I'm going to hang it up or probably turn this camera around and do it against that wall with my cutting table that I have right over there. You'll see it in a minute when we do the cutting test. And I'll hang the whiteboard up back there, and we'll score it back there. But this is what I started off with. I made up a little thing here. All right, so we're going to have all the categories. I'm going to show you what the categories are. We have the 5 knives, and then we're going to post their scores in each one for each category. And then at the end, we will tally them up and find out what knife won the competition. Now, what will the categories be? Right off the bat, we're going to go by price. Now, most of these categories, and don't worry, you don't have to keep up with this. I know how this is going to go, so you can just watch and be entertained, or don't watch the video and just skip. I understand either way. No harm, no foul. Nothing personal. I don't take it personal. Affordability. These are $100 and below. Now, all these categories are going to be scored 1 through 5, except for affordability. The way that I'm going to score this, the lower the price, the higher the score. For instance, if it's $1 through $10, it gets a 10. If it's $21 or $11 through $20, it gets a 2. Or no, what is it? Start over. $1 through $10 gets a 10. $11 through $20 gets a 9. $21 through $30 gets an 8. 31 through 40 gets a 7. 41 through 50 gets a 6. 51 through 60 gets a 5. On down to 91 to 100 gets a 1. So, the way that we're scoring the price is that. Now, that might not be fair, but we had to have a way to take the price of these knives into consideration, because I'm going to be honest with you, there's some knives that come in at $50 that I would take over knives that come in $100 all day long. I got a Gonzo over there that's $28, and I'm going to tell you, I'd take that over a lot of my $40 and $50 knives without a doubt. So, That's the way that the price will be judged, and that is going to be the easiest one because we don't have to guess at it. We don't have to give any opinions. It's just an automatic scoring chart. What's the price of this knife? Oh, well, that's where it falls in at. Boom. There you go. All right. Looks. Aesthetics. This is going to be another one that's going to be easy because I'm just going to judge them by what I think about the aesthetics. And that gets a 1 through a 5. If I think that a knife is just, man, that knife is gorgeous, it's flashy, it looks really good, I like the overall profile, it might get a 5. If I think that knife is plain, it's dull, it don't have anything, it might get a 1. But this is, again, all personal opinion. And remember, we don't have to go through this each time. I can just refer back to this original video on how we score. Ergonomics gets a 1 through a 5. How does it feel in the hand? The ergos of the knife gets a 1 through a 5. And again, I'm going to judge that myself personally. And you can go along. If you have these knives, you tell me in a comment what you would score them as. Blade steel, 1 through a 5. And this is the way we're going to do blade steel. 154 cm or CPM 154 and higher, like S30, S35. Any type of 154 or higher premium blade steel gets a 5. Nitro V or equivalent gets a 4. 14C or equivalent styles gets a 3. D2 or equivalent, your AUS 8, your AUS 10, RPM 9, 10CR, 1095 high carbon, those all are going to get a 2. 8CR and below, any type of basic stainless steel is going to get a 1. Action, it's going to be pretty easy to judge. How is the action? How does it feel? We're going to have basically 5 categories, and price is going to be the 6th, and it's going to be just one that I can just give it a real quick score. So really there's only 5 things we're going to be judging these by. And again, we don't have to go through this every time and take this 5-minute intermission to explain this. I just have to tell you guys how this competition is going to go so we can move through this. All right. And the last thing is slicing. The very end of this video, I'm going to turn the camera around to my table over there with my cutting boards and stuff. I'm going to get some rope, I'm going to get some rubber tubing, and I'm going to get some cardboard. And we're going to find out how the cutting geometry and the edge of these knives perform. And we're going to give it a score of 1 to 5. So affordable, price, looks, aesthetics, ergos, blade steel, action, and how good does it cut. And at the very end, we're going to score up these tallies. We're going to add them up, and one knife is going to move on. And this will be the only time we ever have to run through this scoring chart. And I will link this video in all the future videos so people can come back, watch the first 5 minutes, and boom, there you go. As a matter of fact, I might just stop it right now, here in a second, and link this part of the video to every other video in the future. No, I won't do that. I'll just link back to this video. I don't want to make y'all watch this every single time. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And again, we've got this board. Now, this board will be changed. And the only thing that's not on here is slicey. How is it cut? So I'll have to add that on a separate piece of paper, and then we'll score up all these. All right, so let's go ahead and start off. Let's go ahead and start this thing off. And I hope you guys, again, let me know what you guys think about this concept and if you think it's fun. This should be really fast, except for the cutting part, and we'll get to that. All right, guys, so we got all that first part out of the way. We've got the whole breakdown telling you guys how this is going to go. That's out of the way. All right, so the very first category that I've got on the board here, as you can see, is the price. All right, so price is going to be really simple. we've got a really, really simple way of doing this. I've got all that broke down. Let's start off with the very first one that I have up here, and that is the CJRB Maximal, the David C. Anderson design that he wanted to create just to give a knife. For anybody that does not know the story of this knife, David C. Anderson, because of Knife Center and his experience and his job, was always asked by people what knife they should get. And he always had to find out, do you like a big knife? Do you like a small knife? What type of blade shape do you like? What type of action do you like? Weight. He had to ask all different kinds of questions. And he had to tailor their answers to what they liked. And he wanted to create one knife that across the board he could probably recommend to most people. Regardless of what you like, this is probably going to be close to what you like one way or the other. He wanted to create a one-size-fits-all EDC option. And he created the Maximal. And I'm going to tell you right now, most people that have this knife, now it does only have RPM 9 steel, which we'll get to in a second when we judge the steels. But other than that, this knife all the way around is fantastic. All right, but price, this knife, and all of my prices are according to Blade HQ. If you can find these cheaper somewhere else, does not matter. I'm going by the Blade HQ prices because they have most knives and they're easy to find, easy to locate, and they're across the board and they're averages. That knife on Blade HQ is $49.99. Now, that gets a 6 on our price. 41 through 50 gets a 6. So the CJRB has a 6 for price. Next is the QSP. Now this is the QSP Cali. Now this is an absolutely fantastic knife. This is a beautiful knife. This is the Cali. Now this has aluminum handles, has these cool squiggly lines. It is a button lock. It is beautiful. It has a clip point style blade that has some really cool grind work, and it also has porcelain coated paint on the blade. It has porcelain texture. Really, really nice knife. Now this is coming in at $78. So what would that be? 51 through 60 is 5. 61 through 70 is 4. 71 to 80 is 3. So it gets a 3 for price. Next, we've got the Civivi. Now, Civivi, $82 on Blade HQ. So that's getting a 2. Kaiser. Oh, what Civivi do I have? I forgot. Now, the Civivi that I'm using today is the Civivi Chevalier or Chevalier, however you want to say it, Chevalier 2. This is a really nice button lock knife with aluminum handles, a sheep's foot style blade. Really, really beautiful knife. Great EDC option, a great blade shape for EDC. It does have a really cool flipper tab with great action. Good jimping on the spine of the blade here. All in all, a really good knife. If you're familiar with Civivi, they do a great job with their button locks, and this is a really, really nice EDC knife. A lot of cutting edge there. Now, the Kaiser that we're using, and I started this off with some really decent knives, comparing them. I didn't start off with the best, but I started off with some good ones to come out the gate running with this challenge, to have some decent knives to compare. The Kaiser is the mini grouper. This is a beautiful knife. Those carbon fiber, G10 carbon fiber handles. You have got the beautiful leaf-shaped blade there in 154. This is a top liner lock button lock. So just an all-around absolutely beautiful knife. Great flipper tab, great knife to compare. Beautiful. Kaiser does a great job with pretty much anything that they do. That knife is coming in at $79. So again, that's going to come in with a 3. The Kaiser gets a 3. And the last one is the Vosteed. Now the Vosteed that I picked to start off, like I said, I came out of the gate swinging. I picked the Vosteed Shilling Cutter. Look at that. Another one with the leaf-shaped blade. This has got the Vancor lock, so to speak. It's there in the pivot. The Vancor lock. Great action. Leaf-shaped blade. This is in 154. Great ergos. Great jimping on the spine too. All around good knife. The Shilling Cutter is one of the best EDC options out there in my opinion. It's coming in at $99. So guess what? It's getting a 1. 1. So far, we got CJRB is a 6, QSP is a 3, Civivi is a 2, Kaiser is a 3, Vosteed is a 1. Now we're going to go to looks. We're going to go to the aesthetics. This is a personal preference type thing. And we're going to give it a score accordingly. To get a 5, it has to be just an absolutely really, really good looking knife. This is all my opinion. You might score different. Score it yourself in your yourself. But this is how we're going to do this. Okay. So let's start off with the CJRB. The CJRB Maximal. It's a small knife, very plain, but it's good looking. I like the overall profile. I like that blade shape. I like that the G10 handles has that kind of carbon fiber-esque look to it, the way that they make these. It's not an ugly knife by any means, but it's also very plain. There's just, I mean, it's a good-looking knife. There's just nothing, there's no pizzazz. There's no fancy screaming at you that, holy smokes, look at that beautiful knife. It's very, very plain. Now, it's not an ugly knife. It's not an unattractive knife by any means. Score this however you want. These are only my opinion. I'm going to give that knife a 2. I'm going to give that knife a 2. All right. The QSP. The Cali. Look at that knife. The blade shape. That textured aluminum. The colors. That porcelain coated blade. I mean, all in all, this thing is beautiful. Now, this is a good looking knife. This screams wow. In my opinion, some people don't think it's very attractive, I'm sure. Me personally, I think that this is a really, really good looking knife. Really good looking knife. Now, I'm not going to give it a 4. Or I mean a 5. I'm not going to give it a 5. 5 is going to be really reserved for those one in a, I don't even know what knives I have over there that I would give a 5 to. But I've got to make sure that 5 is like exceptional. Very rare to get a 5. So this is going to get a 4 in my opinion. I think it's a really good looking knife, but I'm going to give that a 4. If you disagree, write your scores down. Tell me what you disagree there. 4. Civivi. Another knife. It's a good looking knife. Aluminum handles, nice sheep's foot blade. Great knife. Now, while I do think that it has more pizzazz than your CJRB, I don't think that there's really anything that screams out at you. I think that it's a very, very, although it is a good looking knife and it does have some really nice aesthetics to it, it doesn't have anything that's really standing out to me that you know, makes this anything more than just a really good pocket knife. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give this a 3. I'm going to give this a 3. It's not on the level of the Kali, but I do think that it's better than the Maximal. So we're going to give this a 3. Kaiser. I like the blade shape a lot. The blade shape is beautiful. I'm a big fan of leaf shapes. I say it all the time in my videos. Leaf shape, in my opinion, is one of the best EDC shapes. Not everybody agrees with that. I think that it is. I think that it's a fantastic EDC shape. I think that you get a really good, sharp, piercing tip. You get a good drop point on that blade for like the way that your finger holds it and curves to your hand. I mean, there's just a lot. I think you got a lot of belly there for rocker cut. I think there's just so much going on with the leaf blade. I think it's a great shape. I am not a fan. I mean, I am a fan of carbon fiber. When I first got into knife collecting, I wanted every knife to be in carbon fiber because I thought that was like the thing. So I wanted all my knives to be in carbon fiber because I thought that was like the status of knives, how you knew that a knife was really good, as if it was carbon fiber. But as I've gotten into knives and gotten more and more, I'd much rather have a titanium knife than a carbon fiber knife. So while it is carbon fiber and it is a good looking knife, to me, it's also, other than the shape is fantastic, the outline, but it's, again, just a very average, plain looking knife. Carbon fiber aside, I'm going to give this a 3, just like the Civivi. And go 3 right there. Now Vosti. Okay, let me see. Let me put this down. This Vosti is a little different. All right, so while it does have the leaf shape like the Kaiser, I think that they have done a better job with it. It's got more of a rounded look to it, more like a leaf. I'm not a big fan of front flippers, but I like the way that that looks. I like the color combo. The green, not a big fan of green, but I do like green on my knives. I think that this is a really good looking knife. I think that this is a really, really good looking knife. I could see how somebody would think that this is a plain knife, but to me, it's a really aesthetically pleasing knife. I'm gonna give it a 3. I mean, it's better than the Kaiser in my opinion, but it's just not on the level of the Kali. The Kali is gorgeous. I mean, that's a beautiful knife. And I think that this is a really pretty knife and aesthetically pleasing. I can't give it a 4 and put it on this level. So I'm gonna give it a 3. All right, next, we are going to judge. I'll get it out. We're going to judge on ergos. All right, guys. So the very next category that we're going to judge these on are ergos. How does it feel in the hand? How does it feel in the hand? And again, all these videos won't be this long. This is just the very first one, so we're going through this. All right, so how does it feel in the hand? Now, this is definitely, of all the things, there's 2 things that we're going to be judging them by that is definitely a personal preference thing. One are aesthetics, how it looks. You might completely feel different than I do and judge and score completely different than I do. Also, the feel in the hand might be completely different for you than it does for me. I've got different size hands than other people do. Some people's got bigger hands, some people have smaller hands. And knives feel different to each of us. So ergos are going to be my own personal preference, how I think it feels, and I will judge it according to that. You judge them according to how you think, and you score them according to what you think it feels in the hand. We're going to start off with the CJRB. Honestly, feels really daggone good. As small as it is, when I first saw this knife, I thought because of its size, it was going to just be too small for me, because it is a knife that's not super big. And a lot of times those are going to be small. But David C. Anderson knew what he was doing. He designed a knife that really is an across the board. Big hands, small hands, like a heavy knife, a light knife. This is right down the middle. It's going to appeal to so many people. The ergos on this thing is really, really good. Now, it is a 4-finger grip. A little bit of real estate there on the end. If I can't my hand a little bit, it's still 4-finger grip. It does dig in just a tiny bit right there on the backside. Feels great. Is it the best filling knife I've ever held? No. But the ergos are exactly what he was going for. Across the board, middle of the road, appealing to everybody, has a broader appeal and range of people that will be able to like the feel of this in their hands. Nothing special, but it doesn't feel bad. Feels really good. So I'm going to give this a 3 right down the middle. We're going to give the CJRB a 3. All right. Next, we've got the QSP Cali. Bigger knife. This thing feels really good in the hand. Really good in the hand. And you have that extra finger twirl so you can choke up on it. Really, really nice. Now, the one thing I have to say is, but then again, I'm holding it in the wrong hand, that pocket clip does protrude out a little bit. It sticks out a little far and it digs in. Now, I'm holding it in my left hand while it's in the right-handed configuration, so I can't hold that against the knife. And I hold it in my right hand, it just doesn't feel the same because I'm left-handed. But it still feels really, really daggone good. I like the size of it. I like the finger twirl, and it has the extra finger twirl for choking up. That pocket clip hurts a little tiny bit, but again, it's not the knife's fault. Then I'm holding it in the wrong daggone hand. I can't judge and fault the knife for that. Ergos on this are really good. Really good. I'm going to give this a 4. 4 on the Cali. Civivi. Really good. Really, really good. Pocket clip, same thing. Again, I'm holding it in the wrong hand. And it is reversible. So now if these weren't reversible, I'm holding it against the knife, the pocket clip, because it doesn't give you the option to change it. But where they are reversible, I'm not holding the pocket clip against the knife, if that makes sense. Feels really good in the hand. It's big enough for a good 4-finger grip. Choke it up, cant my hand to the side, and it's still, my fingers are still squarely. The 4 feels absolutely great in the hand. That's got really good ergos. I'm going to give that a 4. The Kaiser. Feels good, not great. Pocket clip is sticking out a little far. Even in my right hand, it's still digging in a little bit. And the way that it's curved, that it goes down a little bit, it causes you to, and it might be that way, you're kind of holding the knife kind of like a pistol grip, but it does make you want to start to push the knife down in your hand a little bit because of the way that back slant holds. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3. Give it a 3. The Vosteed, the shilling cutter. Yeah. 3-finger grip. And you can choke up right there. That's not really a finger choil, but you can choke up right there. But yeah, this is getting a 3 too. Just nothing special. 3. 3 for the Vosteed, for the Ergos. Again, if you think it's different, you vote differently for that. Steel. This is going to be an easy one. All right, this is going to be an easy one because we already got this. Let's see. This is RPM 9 blade steel on the CJRB. Now, our RPM 9, we had D2 or equivalent in any of your knife steels like RPM 9, 10CR, AUS 8, AUS 10, 1095 high carbon. All of those fall into the same category and they get a 2. So this is going to get a 2 for blade steel because it is a RPM 9 blade steel. Basically, it is a 9CR. So it's going to get a 2 on the blade steel. Next is the QSP Cali. Now, that's real easy. This is 14C. Now, 14C or equivalent, that's easy. Gets a 3. Civivi Chevalier 14C, that's a 3. The Kaiser, boom, 154. So guess what it gets? It gets a 5. And the shilling cutter is also in 154. That also will be getting a 5. 154 and higher for your premium blade steels, all are going to get a 5. All right. The last thing we're going to judge before we go over here to the slicing test is action. Action. Let's start off with the CJRB. There's no question about it. This thing has some fantastic action. I mean, the action on this thing is just, it's just fantastic. The action on this is so smooth and good and snappy and fun. This is getting a 5 out the gate. 5 on the CJRB. QSP Cali. Pretty snappy. Pretty damn snappy. Now, it ain't this. I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4. These vote differently yourself. I'm going to give it a 4. Civivi. There's just that little bit of kind of same thing with that QSP. It's fidgety. It's got good action. It's loose, but you can feel just that little bit of grind in the pivot. Just the tiniest little bit of pull to it, if that makes sense. This is just so, it's just, yep, I'm going to give that a 4 as well. the Kaiser. Oh yeah, that's snappy and good. That is. Now when you use the thumb studs, not so much, but when you just hold the top liner lock button down, it is excellent action. Excellent action. I'm gonna give that a 5. And let's go with the shelling cutter. Yeah, and a 5 as well. All right, so this is our board so far. Let me see, let me see what's in the lead, and then we're gonna do our cutting test. After the cutting test, we'll add all these up and we'll find out what knife won. All right, so the CJRB is 8, 13, 18, 7, 11, 14, 18, 5, 9, 12, 16, 6, 9, 19. The Kaiser's and Vosti's got 17. Kaiser's in the lead right now with 19. CGRB and QSP are tied, both with 18. Civivi's got 16. The Vosti's at 17. And the Kaiser is in the lead with 19. So now, guys, we're going to cut some cardboard, some rubber tubing, and some rope. And we're going to find out how good the edge holds up on each one of these. That's the wrong thing. We're not testing edge retention. That's the wrong thing. We're testing like the geometry, I should say. How slicey is it? How slicey is it? We're not testing these for beater knives. We're testing these as an EDC knife. Not as a beater knife, as an EDC knife. And EDC knives, in my opinion, need to be slicey. They need to cut really well. So we're going to test that, and then we will come back for a really quick rundown and announce the winner. Let's turn this thing around. All right, guys. I was going to do it facing the wall and stuff like that, but I don't have that stuff all set up yet. So we're just going to do this a tabletop down. This is my cutting table over here that I got set up with all my stuff that I put here for the day that I do actually decide to start getting into customizations and stuff. It's got some outlets over here on the table that I can plug stuff in and different things like that. But yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. So we're going to do a few things. Number one, we're going to start cardboard. We're going to cut some cardboard. Then we're going to cut some tubing, and we're going to cut some rope. And we are going to see how well each knife holds up, if it cuts through things easy, if it's slicey, if it struggles on different things. And yeah, remember, this is not about edge retention or how tough the blade steel is. This is about how slicey and how well it cuts, which is kind of tied to blade steel, but we're just going to go with how slicey it is. So we're going to start off with the CJRB. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty slicey on the cardboard. Exactly what you would expect. Let me see a piece of paper here. This is kind of all about edge. This would be the real challenge right here. Let's try this rope. Kind of struggles through that a little bit. Oh no, cuts pretty good. Cuts set pretty daggone good, actually. Oh yeah, that's pretty, this is a slicey knife. Yep, that's a pretty slicey knife. You do have to put some force behind it and stuff like that. I mean, it's a slicey knife. It's not like a super slicer or anything like that. I would probably give this knife, I don't know, because I'm gonna tell you, it is definitely sharp. Probably gonna give that. Yeah, I'm gonna test them all and see how they all compare before I start giving out scores. Let's do that. All right, so what is next on the list? We've got QSP, the Kali. Let's cut some cardboard. Oh my gosh, night and day. This ain't even on the, yeah, completely different than that CJRB. Wow. Way, way different. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, not even close. Let me check this rope out, see what it does on this rope. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is definitely a better cutter than that CJRB, for sure. Definitely a better cutter than the CJRB. So far, this has got a higher score than the CJRB. Let's test out the Civivi. Daggone, this is like that daggone Kali. Just great. That's really good. I mean, that's... Oh yeah, this is even better than a Kali. Oh yeah, that is... Sorry, little one's in the background playing. You can hear him. I'm trying to force it through instead of slicing it through because this table is rocking and making so much noise, and I don't want it rocking the camera like this. So it's actually making me struggle to cut. It's not the knife, it's me. All right. So that struggled through the rope a little bit. It cut this way better, but it struggled through the rope more. It's an odd one. This is definitely an odd one. So it cuts this, and it cut the cardboard better than the Kali. But it struggled on the rope more than the Kali did. That's all about edge geometry, I guess. So far, I would go this one, then the Kali, then this one. Next, the Kaiser. Let's test this out. Wow, that's like butter. Wow, that's like butter. Wow, not even a comparison. Not even a comparison. This is by a country mile better than all three of those other ones so far. Let's see, the rope will be the... Oh my gosh. Oh wow, this is not even close. Oh yes, that's a 5 right there. That's the 5. That is insane. Kaiser's a 5 all day long. All right, last is the shilling cutter. I have a feeling this is going to be exactly like that. I mean, that's just butter. Just butter. Let's see if it cuts this like that Kaiser did. Not quite. Struggling more than the Kaiser did. Apologize for the rocking, guys. I got to get a better, more stable platform for this, and I definitely will. I mean, this is kind of deceptive. Yeah, now the rope is all coming untwined. Whatever. Let me see if it'll cut through all three of these. I think that's on the level of that Cali. So this 100%, this gets a 5. Like this grouper just mowed through everything. It cut the rope, the tubing like it was nothing. It just zzz right through it. This cut the cardboard and the tubing, struggled on the rope. This struggled on, I mean, the rope is what got all of them. This is first, this is second, third. Oh, daggone. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. So this gets a 5. These two probably get, I mean, all three of these I'm probably going to give a 3. And this gets a 2. Yep, 5 3s and a 2. All right, guys, so that cutting was a little off for me. It was a little odd, which I don't do a lot of hard use stuff with my knives. Not that that was really hard use, but, you know, I'm not cutting rubber tubing every day. Now, I do cut a lot of rope, twine, zip ties, things like that. I'm not cutting a lot of rubber tubing, but that Kaiser it just went right through those. They're all sharp. They're all very sharp. But that Kaiser just zzz. And the others, you really had to, now granted, take it into consideration what I had to work with on that table. I need to steady up the legs so it doesn't rock and stuff. I was trying to push instead of really slicing, because then the table would wobble and I didn't want to do that. And forcing through instead of slicing through was a little bit different, but I did that to all the knives. So all of them got the same treatment. So it wasn't like I pushed one and sliced another. They all were pushed through. And that Kaiser, bzz, 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 right through it, no problem. The others struggled, some more than the others. But none of them were on the level of the Kaiser. And none of them were the Civivi, the Vosteed, and the Cali. All, I mean, the Civivi done a little bit better than the Cali did. The Vosteed done just a tiny bit better in one area or another than the Civivi. But all three of those were about the same. There wasn't enough of a difference to put one on a different level than the others. But all three of them were on a different level than the CJRB, if that makes sense. Does that have anything to do with blade steel? I don't think so. I think it has to do with edge geometry and the way that the blade shape is. Now, I could be wrong, but this is all for fun anyway, so it's not like this really matters. So I've got all the points here. I put the scores there at the very end, since I have to get another board for the to redo all this. So let's find out what our total scores are. The CJRB, 6, 2, 3, 2, 5, and 2. So that's 6, 11, 10, 20. Got a 20. QSP is 7, 10, 18, 21 for the QSP. Is that right? 8. Yeah. All right. 5, 9, 12, 16, 19 for the Civivi. The Kaiser's 3, 6, 9, 19. Wow. 24 for the Kaiser. Add that up. 24 for the Kaiser. And the Vosteed, 4, 7, 17, 20. So 20 for the Vosteed. So the Kaiser smoked them. People love the mini grouper, I guess for good reason. So out of this, we had the Maximal, the QSP Cali, the Civivi Chevalier 2, the Vosteed Shilling Cutter, and the Kaiser Mini Grouper. And the Kaiser Mini Grouper smoked them with 24 total points. What a slam dunk win. What a home run. The Mini Grouper is going to go on. Guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me turn my lights around here. Let me know what you guys think about this. This was a little long, but it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. I'm going to do one of these every day. I'll also try to do a different style of video every day. But let's do this. If you guys like it. If you guys don't like it, I won't do these anymore. I won't put you guys through another long video just if nobody enjoys it. But if you did enjoy it, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think about this style. What knives do you want to see in the competition next? I'll put them up. And yeah. I appreciate it, guys. Kaiser Mini Grouper 154 cm slam dunk. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Chris, your professional dad, and I wish all of you sharp knives and happy lives. On to the next challenge.